back office right now, and just finished boosting a post for my dad and his Shakeology story, or about my dad. And so I'm back here starting out just looking on our screen. But so if you guys go to my fitness page, my like page, you'll see what I'm talking about. Or I'm pretty sure I just posted about it in the TrueBliss team page. But so I boosted it for $5. And I'm going, and this is trial and error, so I don't know how this is going to turn out, but for $5 I did a call to action for my customers, and trying their first 30-day supply of Shakeology with me into bettering their health and nutrition. They get a $10 rebate, so $10 back for every first of those 5 purchases. So, we get about a $30 commission, so they get 10 of that, which is pretty awesome because you're still making, some money for yourself, and they're getting rewards right off the bat. And then, diving into their health and fitness journey. And I'm thinking of doing a 30-day Shakeology group. So if you guys are wanting in on that, you have friends or family, they keep asking about Shakeology, let me know, and you guys are more than welcome to do these groups with me. So anyways, I finished that, and I'm gonna see how that goes today. The $5 boost, I'm just doing it for one day, and might go for 2, just depending on the response and that sort of thing. So I wanted to start out back here and just go over that. And I'm going to take my notes, and we are going to dive into our team training today. So basically what I'm going over is kind of the awesome reaction that I got from my dad's from his Shakeology story, and just how it's completely kind of boosted my business. So let's see here. All right, so you guys can actually see me now. Perfect. So first of all, I want if you read my post on Facebook on my timeline from Tuesday, that so my dad, his Shakeology story, he started drinking Shakeology last May, so a year ago, and he signed up with me, underneath me as a coach, so he could get the discount, and just wanted to lose some belly weight. That's where he holds his weight in his waist, and he just wanted to lose that because he has had it for a long time, for years, and was just kind of depressed and down about it, and didn't like that, wasn't confident in himself and the way it made him feel and look. So so that was why he started drinking Shakeology. He replaced it in the morning instead of having cereal. It was a high sugary cereal, so it was a good replacement for him, and he immediately started seeing that weight coming off, a couple pounds here and a couple pounds there, that sort of thing. And the reason that weight had stayed on was because he had been taking medication, and so it would actually caused him to keep on that extra weight. And he eats healthy already, goes on walks with my mom all the time. He's done work, 10-minute trainer with me in the living room before. So it's not that he's not active or anything like that. Yes, there's times of where the sweet treats come in, and you have some donuts at work or that sort of thing. But he's really worked his butt off this past year to put those bad habits aside and just make it his own and make it work for him. So that was how he started, and kind of just progressed from there. So now he's officially down 23 pounds. It might have gone down another one by now. 24 pounds. That was on Tuesday. And he got his clean bill of health from the doctor's office. And this makes me so happy for him, because these were the things that, when you see somebody in your family or a loved one and they're struggling and you just want to help them and maybe you don't know how to go about that, these were those things that I had in mind for him. I never told him, but it was just those things. So he is officially off his blood pressure medication. He no longer takes blood thinners for that. He has low cholesterol. They just called him yesterday, so this is more updated. And said that he's off his cholesterol medication. Yay! And is no longer drinking coffee in the mornings. I know, not all coffee is bad for you, but in those high consumptions and you're constantly revving your adrenal system. Long story. So anyways, yes, he's off of the caffeine, and just having that clean bill of health. I don't know about you guys, but I know tons of people, I want to say hundreds, because that I've met just throughout my life, that struggle with these things, that struggle with diabetes, that struggle, and have their high blood sugar, that struggle with maintaining weight or losing weight, or just, stop quitting those junk food habits, so they're no longer, suffering from high blood pressure, or, it's all different types of diseases. And so that, to me, when I first became a coach, were and still is my goal for others. Because, in today's society, we have that all around us, right? We have fast food, we have foods that we don't know what's in them, we have foods that aren't whole, or that are pre-sliced, or pre-cooked, or they're pre-this, they're pre-that, right? We have all of that, and it's all around us, and that becomes the norm, rather than going and picking strawberries out of the garden, and having our whole foods that way. So it's kind of flicking that switch for people and helping them do that, through whether that's through a challenge group, a free clean eating group. I know I try and run those every single month. And but making it to where, I know for me personally, I am not someone that does well with change drastically, especially when it comes to my body. This isn't always true for everything, but a lot of the times I like to make, just those small tweaks. So if somebody comes to me and they're ready to do, this is just a little insight to my business, and so maybe it'll help you guys. If somebody's wanting to do the 21-day fix, and they tell me what their nutrition is, and maybe, so let's just say they don't eat breakfast, and for lunch they eat out when they're at work, and then they have a granola bar and some yogurt for an afternoon snack, and then they come home and they kind of make dinner. Maybe it's out of a box, maybe it's some chicken and some frozen veggies that day, and they call that good. Maybe they have a little popcorn or chocolate or something at the end of the day before they go to bed. So that person, when they see the 21-day fix plan, that can be, really intimidating, right? Because you're going from that lifestyle to, on the go fast food, not, necessarily the cleanest for you, right? And to, it's like a culture shock where you're like, what are all these, what's kale? What's spinach? Isn't that just something that Popeye eats? Stuff like that. And so people, there's, you'll get those, that the go-getters that are ready to make that entire change. I know I've been there before, and it's such a stress on the system that I tell people to start, just 1 or 2, 3 things a day that they can change. So, look at the meal plan, look at what they're doing. So, in comparison, so they have their old menu and then their new menu. Now, slowly start merging those slowly. So, maybe just have your Shakeology in the morning, and pack a different afternoon lunch for, the first 2 or 3 days. And then slowly start, building off of that. It doesn't have to be, that complete 180 turn, and you're just going full bore, and then 3 weeks down the road you're done, you just finished your first 21-day fix and you're exhausted, or because you haven't even been working out before then either, and you're just like, oh, thank goodness 21 days are over, they're over, I don't want to continue with this. Or, so making sure and that people can, do this for the longevity. So that's always been that's kind of my 2 cents, is slowly, that slow progression. That's just me. It's what works for me. So it's what I teach to my clients, and now to you guys too. So, and that's kind of how my dad did it too. He noticed, Shakeology, and then started tweaking things here and there. And, now look at where he's at today. So that that post that I shared, my dad's results was a lot of fun. Just, getting to do that and share with other people what, kind of goes on behind the scenes here at home for me. And, and so I got, a huge response, huge. I don't think I've ever gotten this big a response to anything. And it was, over 70 likes, comments, people, just an overwhelming sensation of gratitude and thanks. And people, I think people started to really see that I wasn't in this to make a quick buck or for myself or anything like that. Yes, I do have dreams. Yes, I do have goals. But they always entail having, it's a give and take between two people. And so I, posted that. And so then yesterday, my ideas started coming up, my brain started working, and I had, a few awesome ideas. So these are, now kind of that trickle effect of what I'm doing off of that post that I shared with my dad's, and what I'm doing to, kind of keep that promotion going. So the way I look at it is when you're, sharing somebody else's story, or you're sharing your story, you're self-promoting, right? You're talking yourself up, you're enjoying what you're doing, and you're trying to relate to people. You're trying to give them an avenue of, to help them and to change their life. So by doing that, I had that post of my dad's the other day, and then I went in and found all those people because I tagged my parents in that, so I wasn't friends with everybody. So I went and friended those people that were kind of in my network market, in my niche of people that I know I would contact and reach out to. So I added, I think it was 8 or 9 people, not a ton, but that's 8 or 9 people in one day that I added to my network. That's pretty awesome. So I went and did that. And then, and they already know who I am, so I, it wasn't, an awkward friend request from somebody random from 20 years ago. They just saw this post, they probably, know why I'm trying to contact them. And then, I went and wrote down all of these people that I, either would like to contact or need to, form with or connect or that sort of thing. And I had 25 names, so I try and reach out to 5 people a day, and so that's 5 days worth of people that I can connect with. So I wrote that down. So those are just little side notes of things that I did, and just kind of, connecting and forming and building a network and that sort of thing. And from there, so I still have that list. I have not gone down it and started connecting just yet, because I ended up instead sharing my dad's Shakeology personally through my email. So this, it's because, I try and send out, an email, a newsletter, or something, kind of like an update to people of what's going on with either Beachbody or in my challenge groups, workout groups, and in the team page, at least once a month. And then that way, people are kind of staying on top of what we got going on, right? So, and if you want, a template for that, let me know and I'll post it in the team page. But so that's what I'll do. And so I went to my email contacts, and I did this morning. And after I did my boost post, I went and copied and pasted it and made it, and I personalized it more because I know that not everyone on that list I'm friends with on Facebook, or that they check my, my stuff all the time. So I gave them kind of a background and really put my heart into it, and shared with people, that I copied and pasted the same wording that I used for my boost post, but then tweaked it. So I put in there that, Shakeology, it is clinically proven. I didn't put the video because I'm just going off facts from the video, basically. That way it's still my voice and people aren't watching this, 2-3 minute Beachbody video all the time. You kind of trying to put yourself in there. So I still, use their same wording where, helps to lower cholesterol, blood sugar levels. It's sustainable throughout the day. It keeps you full, longer lasting. And so, I put that stuff in there because those are things that, what if you reached out to somebody today and they are struggling with that? Maybe they are struggling with high blood pressure because of their weight, or maybe, they do have diabetes and they just, need something that won't affect their sugar levels, their blood sugar levels. Wouldn't that, even just, if they're not ready, or maybe, they need that warm up pitch to where they, you're planting that seed and they're eventually going to come back around. That's what I would want for people, is for those that are struggling to live that better life, to have that better life. And so that's what I did by, sharing that this is what Shakeology can offer you in your world, in your day. Let me know if you're interested. And then, I kind of signed off from there. But so I know it can be intimidating. I know for me, it was really scary to reach out to people and, kind of take them under my wing and say, hey, yes, I want these things for you. Sure, like, let's try and help you get there, because I'm not certified, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything like that. I'm not a nutritionist. I did go to school for personal training, as you guys know. But I just, all in all, comes down to heart, and that I want that for people too, but they have to want it for themselves. So I sent that email out today to 40 people. I sent 10 people a similar email yesterday, so 50 altogether. And you might be asking yourself, where am I getting these people from? How do I actually have an email list, right? And my email list is actually longer than that, but some of the people, are already in my groups and that sort of thing, so I didn't email them, obviously. But so where I get my email, my contacts list from, is I get customer leads. So I've ranked up to Emerald, so I get those customer leads now that I hit Success Club 5 every single month. They've changed that rule. It was a little different before. And I also, get my biggest email collector income, I guess you'd call it, is from my free group. So, if you're constantly running free groups, I've had, I think my highest was 25 people in a clean eating challenge before. I've had 5 people. I've had 2 or 3 just in a flat belly challenge with the rest of the team. So, you get people here and there, and then they're going to start watching you, informing with you, and connecting with you, especially in those free groups. I put a lot of energy into those when it's people that are brand new contacts, so I can get to know them and who they are and their struggles and goals and ambitions and that sort of thing. So that's where, I get a lot of my emails as well. Free groups, and then the rest are, people that I have met and come into contact with along the way, and they've, either already ordered something from me, they signed up as a free member, they, and we've just become friends and are, in this together, basically. So that's where I get my emails from. And so that's kind of just what I'm doing today. And then I'm going to reach out to those that respond to the boosted posts and, personal messaging people, informing and connecting on Facebook and that sort of thing. And Instagram, I'm eventually, working my way over that way. Not as fast as I would like to, but at the same time, I am still progressing, so I'm happy with that. Just got to get more organized here. So that's kind of where I'm at, where things are at with my business. And I'm sharing all of this with you guys because I want you to know that it's not an overnight process. Like I said, my dad's been on a Shakeology journey for a year. This is the biggest outcome I've had from people, an outburst of response and emotion. So if, maybe you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, I don't have anyone that's been drinking Shakeology for a year, or, I don't even have a great story, maybe. So you have to start seeing yourself in a different light. This was really hard for me in the beginning, and, it's being vulnerable. It's being sharing your story, out there to the Facebook rooftops, and just shouting it out there, because, I used to be so focused on that negative outcome of those people, that would try and push me down or say that, this is stupid or it's a scam or you're just being salesy. I spent so much time and energy focused on those people that it was draining, not to me personally only. It was, my friends, my family, my team, because I was in, and I excuse my language, but I was in a piss poor attitude. I had a piss poor attitude, and because I was focused on the wrong outcome. I was focused on the negative rather than the positive, because there are, for every 5 people that are negative towards you, there are 10 people, saying yes or backing you up, especially when it comes to the team or, friends or family. So, don't focus on that, just some awful outcome. Focus on what makes you happy. Focus on those people that are, cheering you on. Maybe they're cheering you on silently, but they're still liking your posts, or, and you're planting those seeds. Focus on those that do come around and ask you questions and, are just wanting to know about what you're doing and what it is. Focus, put your heart into that, and then things are going to start to fall into place, and you're not going to feel as bad about, sharing your story and being vulnerable, and maybe something that it's emotional for you, and you're sharing it on Facebook, and you're just being real in yourself. I know I've been there. I remember one of my first posts that I did that was very personal to me. I can't, and I wish I remember which one it was. But it was, over 6 months ago, it was a while back, and I sat at my computer. And this is way off topic. I'm kind of done with the meat of the call today. So if you have to get going, totally go for it. But so I remember I was sitting at my computer, and I didn't want to hit enter. I had it all typed up, and I was just, because it was something so personal to me, and I didn't want to feel, I got, like, some of you know this, out of a bad relationship a few years back, and a lot of that stuff just hung around me, and I kept expecting so many people to just be, negative or too vocal about their harsh opinions or that sort of thing, and just would crumble my dreams and what I wanted out of life, right? So, but then once you start posting that stuff, it's like a breath of fresh air, because you realize that, well, first of all, a lot of people start to take you seriously and personally, because they're seeing you as a real person and not just somebody on Facebook with their face and selfies up there all the time that, has some perfect life or whatever going for them. It's real. And also it just tells people, deep down, maybe it awakens that dream that they had for themselves, 8, 10, 15 years ago, however long ago. And they're, saying like, oh, there's other people out there struggling with the same things that I am. I'm going to keep watching this person and see how they do. I'm going to see, what they're up to, maybe how they're perceiving the world. I'm going to follow their posts and get inspired by that. I know that's what I did with, tons of coaches on the Epic Dream Team, even after I signed up as a coach, because I wasn't, part of that world before I was a coach. I found Christy on Craigslist. So I, started following Natalie Bright, and, we're friends, and we talk in Messenger and on Zoom and that sort of thing, and following Christy and following Tanya Jean and following Crystal Milligan, and Jack Gallagher, I can never say her last name, poor Jack. But so, following everybody on Facebook and feeding off of their energy and their positivity and their happiness, and taking that and balling it up into my own. So that's kind of just my 2 cents at the end here. Doesn't really pertain to anything else in the rest of this call, but I just wanted you guys to know that it is hard. taking those first baby steps into, the social media world and getting yourself out there. But it's also what's going to set you up for success. If you're sharing things, maybe private conversations that you normally would have had with your sister or your dad or your best friend, and because you're really excited about something, or your challenger just posted like some awesome recipe and you're gonna try it. I remember I would go to, because I live with my parents, I would go to my dad and be like, this is awesome, I can't, like, yes, this, like, I want this. And I would share with them all these great things that were happening, but I would never share it on social media. So people wouldn't see that behind the scenes enthusiasm. They're missing out on the things that I was pumped about, right? And that they'd probably be pretty pumped about too. So I had to step out of my comfort zone and start, posting those posts on social media. That's how I've gotten to build up, to where now I just sit down and act like I'm talking to my best friend. Like I'm literally sending a text to my best friend and being like, oh yeah, I just, I say something silly. This is what I posted yesterday on Instagram. I said Schweddy, which is like you're super sweaty. And, the Germans would say it like that because it's a V and a W. So I'm sharing, that I'm goofy and that I don't always take myself seriously. And I'm just talking like I would to my best friend. People can relate to that because you're being yourself, you're being genuine, and, not filtering yourself and who you are in your world or anything like that. You're just totally out there on a ledge for people to see who you are, right? Kind of scary, but at the same time, you realize that there's a lot of good people out there and they just want, you happy and vice versa. And they're going to start following you and you're going to connect with them and it's going to be awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in and checking in on our Team TrueBliss training today. I know I kind of went all over the place. I had my little notes here on what I wanted to do, and I just, let it roll off the tongue. So thank you so much. If you want to reach out or you have something that you are wanting for me to talk about or you're struggling with, go ahead, email me, maurelaura31@gmail.com, MAURERLAURA31@gmail.com. Thanks guys. Have a great day.